We have the privilege in Kwara of having this lady and in our midst today, Dr. Remi Duyile. Just to talk a little bit about her, Dr. Remi Duyile retired as a senior vice president in Bank of America. One of the few black women from diaspora to have reached that extent in their career. She sits on the boards of many companies. She's the founder of the African Chamber of Commerce in Washington, D.C., in the D.C. area. She's passionate about these kind of causes. Recently, she ran even in the Maryland elections for the role of Maryland representative in the U.S. The Maryland House of Representatives. We're excited to have her here. I just felt she needed to be here to impact you guys. At the same time, she's a lifelong learner, has a PhD, she's an academician, she finds time to teach in a university in the local area also. So with a warm welcome, join me to say welcome to Dr. Remi Duyile.
Thank you so much.
Yes. So you will moderate, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Should I?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I think you can have it.
Oh, I can sit down. Okay. Oh, very much. I think enough introduction was made through Mr. Fabayo. You know who I am. Of course, I'm a proud mother of 3 amazing young leaders who are from ages 27 to 32. So I'm excited to be before each and every one of you. And I've been in the institution of marriage happily for over 30 years, still counting. So I say all of this to give God the glory that you can pretty much have a lot of the great things that may be the society things, that you can have one and the other. You can have it in God's time and in the time that you are assigned to have it. Who am I? I was a young immigrant here who went to the United States in quest of education. At age 17 and a half, going on 18, I traveled to the United States to go and get educated like a lot of us want to do. Thought I will finish and come back so I can continue doing what we should do, but still there ever after. But to the glory of God, doing things that are creating impact. Had the privilege of working in corporate America, rising as a teller, a cashier, to a vice president in corporate America with 4 stripes: black, female, Nigerian, accent. All of those things were things that I didn't see as negative. So those were my value proposition to the world. And I know you're like, we don't have all of this. There might be some things that you experience that makes you feel like, that makes people feel like you're different and they want to intimidate you. I want to submit to you that unless you allow people to intimidate you by pointing out things that they're part of you, but they want to make it look like it's a deterrent. The only deterrent if you not allowing your mind to just dream and phantom things that you can do. And if you can think it, you can do it. Ready to do the work, putting the work in. I'm excited to see you all here this evening. It's almost 9 o'clock, and I heard that you normally don't wait this long, but you are here. I'm an educator in quest of my passion for young leaders. That's something that I've passionately gone after because I know I have 3 of you, 3 children, and I know that they don't have 2 heads. And I know by the grace of God, they are doing excellently well because of the extra things that they have to do. Not because they know anybody that's special, it's because they're willing to do the work. Just like you're here tonight, you could be out doing something else. So for me as a person, education has been something that I've been very interested in. Why? Because I know learning never ends. Learning is ongoing. So I'm in quest of more learning. So I sit in front of students in the classroom, taking my knowledge in the finance world as a vice president to teach them how to manage their money, how to balance their life. And recently I sit in an experiential learning capacity at a historically black college and university. What that means is that in addition to you having the academic intelligence that you're taught in the classroom, there's the importance of you connecting with practical companies so you can know what does a Google person do? What does a Deloitte person do? So those names that you hear and Google search don't scare you, because they're human beings like you and I who work behind the desk. As a matter of fact, those who are like us, we do the most job because the brains don't know colors. I'm not a doctor or a medical practitioner, but I don't think the brain, I'm not sure if the white brain is different than the black brain. I don't know about that. I know that if we all, as we're sitting this evening here, ready to learn, doing all the things you're doing, the sky is the beginning. It's not even the limit. I want to let you know that there are 3 things that has worked for me. 3 things that have worked for me consistently. One is being authentic, knowing who I am and whose I am, and daring to be different. Yes, I have an accent. Yes, I'm female. Yes, I'm Nigerian. Yes, I'm whatever. But making sure that those things that people see as a distraction doesn't stop the quality of the work. It doesn't stop the outflow. It doesn't stop that coding. It doesn't stop whatever you are developing as a developer. I have a son who works for Google as a software developer. It doesn't have anything to do with the color of your skin. And I know any of you here, given the right opportunity, can sit in places where you might think it's a big deal. My daughter works for Facebook. I don't say all of this to brag. I don't have a clue who owns Facebook, nor do I need to worry about who owns it. But my daughter works there, has a service she's rendering to Facebook. Any of you can be wherever you want to be. But one thing you have to do is receive yourself. Who are you and whose are you? Accept yourself and be authentic. Be original. But be dare to be different. You know why you have to dare to be different? Because people will want to quickly tell you who you are and what you are capable of. The last time you checked, did they study to know what you have been doing every minute of your life? They don't know. They see a part of your life and they think that they know who you are. Of course, are there people that will recommend things that they believe you should do? Of course, that's called guidance. But that does not mean you give them the liberty to tell you who you are. So all my life, I've always wanted to be different because I always have dreams that are bigger than me, that are not just about me, and it never resonated with people who didn't look like me because they're wondering, oh, you're still here, you're thinking this. It doesn't matter. Put in the work. So be authentic. Authenticity is very important. Then being committed. Commitment is very important. Anything that you decide that you want to be part of, please be committed. And I don't need to sing to the choir. You are all here this evening. It's commitment. You didn't have to be here. You're committed to your work. You're committed to your hustle. You're committed to your future, to your dreams. That's why you're here to hear me speak. You don't even know who in the world I am. But you're here, you could be home, eating or sleeping. So commitment and being consistent. Consistency is very important. If I go around the room and ask you, what does consistency mean to you? Everybody would answer differently. Can somebody tell me, when you think of consistency, what does that mean? Anybody? I want a female and a male, and I start with my female. I'm very biased with female. Any of my ladies want to tell? Yes, ma'am.
Consistent effort towards something.
Yes, having that consistent effort towards something. So it doesn't matter if that thing is hard, if it's easy, you're consistent. Your consistency is going to ensure you to do a better job. You're going to have a mastery. Consistency will ensure you to have a mastery of that thing that you're committed to, that you're authentic about yourself. You already know, yeah, Remi, I have accent. Yes, Remi, I'm female. Remi, I'm black. So what are you going to do about it? I'm going to still be a game changer in the world. I still want to have my voice to inspire others. I was not a speaker. Sitting before you now is like magic. I used to be so afraid of speaking. Growing up, and I'll bore you, I grew up in Nigeria. I'm the baby of the family. How many of you are babies of the family? They spoil us and send us away. I never had to fight for anything. So I didn't know that there was a need to speak or not speak. Before I asked, they gave it to me. We were not wealthy, but we had enough that I didn't have to fight or raise my voice. So from that, speaking was a fear. But in corporate America, with the hard work that I put in and the promotion, I was always shy to describe my work. Guess who did the work? Me. And I was too afraid to tell people about what I did. Guess who told them what I did? Other people who couldn't do the work. So I had a problem with that. So I had to go train myself to ensure that I can have my voice, this voice that I'm lending to the world now, that I hope if any of you are in my boat, the boat I was afraid of speaking, all of us can speak. Because nobody can tell your story better than you. Nobody can tell your story better than you. So that consistency gives you the mastery. You're already committed. You're authentic. So if the accent is there, you're like, let me speak slowly so they can understand what you're speaking. What we're talking about this evening are soft skills. They might not necessarily have anything to do with coding 100%, but again, it does. Because when on the other line, when your teachers are teaching you, maybe they have a bad day and they make you feel intimidated, or they don't make you feel like that they respect you for that day, you're going to have to take it in. You're going to have to suck it in. But that doesn't mean you shrink. Because you know where you are going, and you know the key to where you are going is in that hand, I didn't have any problems when people had to have they had attitude with how I spoke. I said, do you want me to spell it? A for apple, B for boy. They said, no, Remi, you don't. I said, you said you can't hear me. I didn't take it personal. So when you are going through all of this, if I sit here and tell you it won't be difficult, I'll be lying to you. There are days that you'll be like, do I have to really be here? I want to tell you, every day you're awake and you need to be here, you have to be here. Technology is a game changer, and technology is a leveler. There's no place in the world that technology is not needed. And if you're a coder, you're a coder. It doesn't matter where you're coding from. You could be here in Ilorin, you could be in Nigeria, anywhere in the world, you could be in America. If you are good, you're good. Google is going to look for you. Facebook is going to look for you. So whatever you're learning here, those are skills that you can transfer, you can transport, and you can virtually engage. But the soft skills are the ones that a lot of times they're not taught to us. Because it's not easy to teach it. You don't know what to say to people. But when you are telling your story that you have experienced, those in the audience too might have some things that resonates with them. And then they'll be able to say, oh, that lady said, okay, somebody is trying to make me feel intimidated. Don't take it personal. If they're the key to your success, try to humble yourself and figure out how to overcome what they're thinking. But let me tell you one thing. The world is waiting for each and every one of you. When I sit here right now, if you see the joy within me, it's unexplainable. Because as an academia, I know what the power of education can be. And what you're getting here is that education that money can't even put it in your pocket. When you get various people with various stories, with various diverse experiences, come and talk to you and share things with you, and they look like you, they are Nigerian like you, I mean, they have accent like you, I'm from Ondo State, but I'm still Nigerian. All of these things make you to say, I'm female for my girls, my ladies, you see a woman, so there's nothing that can stop you. And women in tech is a big deal. And I know that's not my lane, Mr. Fabayo, so you have to excuse me, but I have to touch on it. There's a need for our women to be intentional about being that game changer. And you have a great support system. Having this kind of a incubator, the MALhub incubator, is first of its kind. I've never seen anything like this. It's run by leaders, young leaders like you, where you incubate yourself, you work as a team, you help each other succeed, you have an environment that's comfortable enough. Hopefully you have a trust factor that makes you want to be able to open up to those educators who are helping you to channel to where you're going. The world is just waiting for you And congratulations, some of you, I heard great things are happening to you globally and locally. All of us can enjoy the same success. First, what do you want for yourself? And how bad do you want it? And when I say how bad you want it, you do not compromise yourself. No compromise. It's not about saying how bad do you want it and somebody wants you to maybe make yourself available. It's about brain power. There should be nothing on the face of this earth that makes anybody to compromise their values. If it's your brain, if you're working, your brain is all anybody needs. Nothing else, nothing more. So once you know that, you go in those books and you get your work done. And when you can deliver on what you're doing, the world is waiting for you. Who says that you can't be the Zuckerberg of our generation, of your generation? Who says that? Nobody. They need people like you. Experiential learning is the most important factor that I want to leave, and I'll close. I know somebody else has to speak. Experiential learning is very important. So I was excited when I heard that you are already engaging with some corporations who are in the space. And I heard data analytics and data science. I'm not in all of that, but as an educator, I'm always hearing it. So whatever I hear, I become curious about it. So if you're taking all of those, the world is waiting for you. Virtually, they might be able to even get you exposed, and we'll see what we can do to work with Mr. Fabayo and the team here to see what can we do to expose what I have seen, what I'm going to share with the world, and see how each and every one of you will continually get the support that you want, that you need, so that you can be that shining star, that shining example that makes people to say, Nigerians are good. We don't want to be noted for Yahoo, and all this negativity. The people in this room know better. That's why you are investing. Even the kind of money you can make, no Yahoo can give it to you. You can make some serious money if you invest yourself and embed yourself in learning what you're going to be taught here, because you have a bridge builder. Your program has a bridge. It's not just learn here and you're on your own. The success end of it is to see how do you get showcased to the world. How does the world know what MALhub is doing, and each and every one of you individually are doing, and each one teach one. And please don't be selfish. Be a good ambassador. Whatever you're part of, that's good. Be a good ambassador, because partnership is the game changer. Having partnerships will help you to do things faster and better, not just figuring it out by yourself. Being fair enough to know who has the skill set. So each of you are sitting right next to your partner. You know that, right? Because the relationship you build now is going to blossom to something tomorrow, the next day, and so on and so forth, that you're thinking, okay, I want to form a board. I have this idea, I want to form a board. You're going to think of each other. That's what I tell my students. I said, you know, all of these people are your shareholders. You better be nice to them. And you better know that everybody is watching everybody. Because you want to be on the board with people who are responsible. Somebody who shows up when they're supposed to show up. So everybody is watching everybody, because your team building starts with yourself. And as you do that, you have mentors like us, like Mr. Fabayo, Mr. Roluga, and so many other people that at some point you will meet that are here. We are here for you. God is with you, for you, by you. Most importantly, dare to be different. Be authentic, please. Be committed. I don't care what it takes. If you have put your mind to something and you put your words out there to say you're going to do it, figure it out and get it done. People might say, oh, it's okay, it's okay. No, it is not okay. When you're committed and people are counting on you and you don't show up, you are really, you are rocking some boats. And then, of course, be consistent. What you do consistently, you will have a mastery of it, and that mastery will give you the confidence, because you have to be confident enough to let the world know what you're carrying. After you've gone through the authenticity, the commitment, the consistency, you've got to be bold enough to let the world know. And that's where communication comes. And I'm sure as you're hearing us speak, I don't have any problems. We have to do a series of communication virtually, Mr. Fabayo, at some point. I'm happy to do that. Communication is very important. You've got to be able to tell your own story yourself, under your voice, and so help us God. Thank you for listening to me. God bless you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay. Okay, great. Thank you very much. We really appreciate. I think that was food for the soul, right? I have about 10,000 questions to ask you, but you've already answered everything in under 5 minutes. So that was amazing. We open the space for everybody to ask questions, right? I believe you already answered a lot of questions, but we're still going to give our people the opportunity to ask questions, 5 questions, and then we can close for. So if you have any question, peacefully raise your hand, please. Thank you very much. Okay. 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 Great. You have to.
Thank you, it's lovely having you. So the question I want to ask, you said you had issues with people always talking about how you speak and the way you sound. So I kind of have the same issue also. So how were you able to like stand up to people and be like, yo man, I don't care about how my voice is or how you hear me speak, and just let me breathe. I'm not a Yoruba boy, but I'm not meant to have the Yoruba accent. So
okay.
everyone now is like, yo, Timothy, you're a Yoruba boy, get the Yoruba accent all the time. So how were you able to shorten those voices?
Yeah. Thank you so much, Timothy. And you said it so beautifully. And the approach I took was not more like, of course, when people want to make you feel like what you're doing is not right, and your accent is your accent, you're Yoruba boy, what you're saying will be. But you do it in kindness, in love. You don't make it look like, okay, you're doomed. If you don't listen to me, that's your problem. No, that's not leaders thinking. Leaders thinking because you know you're going places, and you're going to need to carry some of those people along. They might even be some of your best supporters. They might not really like you, but they're people you need. So by them dishing it out to you to make you feel like, oh, maybe you have an accent that is different, just tell them, oh, do you need, what I did was to say, do you need me to spell it? Do I need to slow down? Because I could tell them 5 million things angrily. But I was looking at my career, and babies were still babies. I worked for the company for 17 years in several roles. So I'll be like, and customers are always right. So if I say anything out of anger, I might lose my job, and I was trying to be a vice president, so I can't do that. So what you do, Timothy, I mean, what I did was pretty much to validate, okay, I get it. Yes, whatever slang you use, I get it. How do you want me to sound? Do you want me to slow down and spell you some words? You see, that's a different tonality versus, people like to be validated. And because you're all leaders here, you've got to enable people to be validated, even when they're acting very maliciously and unintelligently. You don't want to put them in their place. You just want to be able to ask what can you do differently? Do I need to slow down? Do I need to spell some of the words? That would even get on their nerves because they're feeling like if they were doing it intentionally to stress you, they'll back off because you're giving them permission to give you feedback. And then that feedback is going to make them say, okay, Timothy is trying. Guess what? They'll be your best allies because they know you have more wisdom than somebody who gets angry at them and boom, they put it aside. Does that help you, Timothy?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So we have 2 questions.
Good evening, ma. Thank you for being here. I really like the way you speak. So I want to. Good evening, ma. Good evening, everyone. I really like the way you spoke tonight, and I want to ask you that what's the first step you took to enhance your public speaking skills? Because as a person, I'm really shy, so I want to know the first step you took to enhance your way you speak, your communication skills.
Sure. Thank you. You sound like me. I used to be very shy, and I always open that up so nobody, even when my family member sees me speaking out, they just look at me, is it the same Remi? Well, guess what? I had to learn the hard way. I told you when I was in corporate America, hitting my goals, doing everything, I mean, winning trips. But when I was in leadership meetings, people were telling what I did. Those, you know, there's some talkers in meetings, they can't really do the work, but they make themselves spokespeople. And I got tired of that. Because if you can't do the job, why are you talking about what I did? Well, whose fault is it? Mine. So first thing I had to do was to validate that I got a problem. That I have to be able to lend my voice in my own way. So I went to take a course with Dale Carnegie. Then there was a company called Dale Carnegie, and I wanted my company to pay for it. But my company told me, Remi, you're just a little old teller. We don't need you to be speaking behind the teller line. Why do we need to pay for it? But guess what? If you insist, if you pass the class, we'll reimburse you. That class was expensive, sister, but I had to find the money because I knew I was going to pass the class. I was going to do whatever I have to do. It was a whole semester class. I would drive from my area, Upper Marlboro to Bethesda. My babies were still babies. That was the real caveat. First, validating that I have a problem. Secondly, to say, where do I go? How do I resolve it? Because I need to be able to speak. So I went through that class, I passed, they gave me, they reimbursed me. And in that class, I saw people who were CEOs, who were not just average officers like myself, who were in that class, who couldn't speak. So speaking is not as easy as it looks, but it can be easy because it's your story. You are the one that knows what you want to talk about. We overthink it. So first you validate that it's a problem, then you find a solution. And that solution should not be that somebody else should be funding it. If they try to make you find it out of your pocket, that's called investing in your future. So I went and did that. After that, I went looking for Les Brown, who had spoken in my company at one of the leadership retreats, because he spoke so eloquently and he looked like he's black. So I said, I would love to have this man as my mentor, because then I have so many histories, so many experiences. I know I have to be in front of so many people on impromptu, prepared, and so on. So if I can't say it, how am I going to get all of these experiences? I said, I want to die empty. So my voice has to be as loud for me to say my 2 cents. So that's what I did. I don't know if that helps you, validating that you are like me, because I'm one of those that would be shaking and all that. And at the end of the day, it wasn't so bad, but it takes practice. And it takes you just understanding that you're learning and give yourself permission to learn. I'm still learning. I still have things that I want to learn better, but at least you do your best and get better and better all the time. All right. I love your question already. That is what I tell my students. When we have speakers come, when those companies come and tell us about opportunities, I said, if you don't do anything, make sure you get their social media handles, follow them, invite them. I said, don't worry if they don't accept you right away because they might not check social media all the time. So you just did the right thing. So my LinkedIn, I'm very active on my LinkedIn. It's Remi Duyile, RemiDuyile. And I'm also on Instagram. That's the same thing, Remi Duyile. Yeah, so those are my 2 active handles. I'm trying to get better with my my Twitter. How do you know? That one I have to stay engaged, but that's my goal for 2024. So I won't be active even if I gave it to you. But those 2, you can pretty much see what I'm doing, if not on a daily basis, at least on a weekly basis.
Thank you very much. So we have one more question.
So you said something about having the weekly interns that you saw some places where still working on putting together some performance services.
I don't know, it's echoing. I can't
Yeah, I
hear
can't-
the
it's
words. Sorry,
struggling.
the words are breaking up. I'm so sorry. I want to
Paralysis
kind
analysis.
Okay,
whereby
paralysis.
You see so many big things and then you are always overthinking the next step to take or the first step to take. And it makes you like be creative and do that simple things. I want to know, like, have you ever felt that if you are what were the steps you took or what were the steps you took now looking back to about
Yes, thank you. I am a chief overthinker because I have so many ideas and I'm always overthinking that if I do this, I want 1 + 1 to be 2 immediately. Don't always look at what could be in between. As I grew in corporate America, as I grew in the world and working in different facets, I realized that overthinking is paralysis to any of your thoughts. But some things that you overthink, it's not necessary. Start where you are. One of my mentors would say, Remi, do it afraid, meaning start afraid where you are. Don't overthink it. What are those things that you can do now, 1, 2, 3, that would get you a step ahead? You might not see the whole answer in that picture. You might not. But making sure that you're moving 1 step at a time and not overthinking it. Overthinking is normal because as someone who is a dreamer, who's a visionary, you're always going to think of things that you can do better. As I'm sitting here, I'm already thinking of so many things that I want to be able to do to leverage and to support. But if I overthink it, the answers won't even come. But I'm thinking like, let's just, what can you do basically now that you can feel good that you've given yourself that extra effort and you can pat yourself on the back. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks, but you know you've moved forward. Once you do that, you find a way to move forward to another thing and look for partnerships. If there are people around you who are good at things, especially because you have a hub setting, if they are good at something, lend your service. I volunteer strategically. I always tell people I volunteered strategically to my greatness in corporate America. I was always the first to raise my hand to volunteer to help. Even sometimes I don't know what to do. Because when you help others, they're also going to want to be in a position to help you. So be in a position to share together and leverage each other. Each one teach one, each one supports one. And look at yourself from a team and a holistic support system, which means that your success doesn't stop anybody else's success. As a matter of fact, if we build together in a village concept, all of us can be the stars that are shining together. So that would be my advice. And that's what I did. I stopped overthinking and just, okay, what can I do now? I look at my network. How can I even pull it off? It might not be as glamorous as I want it right now, but can it even kick off? So I started doing that, and ever since I've been doing that, I've had more successes because it gets other people to know what you're doing. People who might not know what you're doing, they get a better idea of what you're doing, and then they step in, and together we're building upwards.